What's going on, people? It's your boy Tops back again for another Tops in the Morning show. Big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel. Big up everyone in the comments already. Big up my aim since I can only join for about half an hour, brother. Nah, it's all good, my brother. Good to see you in there, man. It's a new name, Chelsea Transit Sports. That's crazy. I in Carlos, I'm outside your window in your nursing home. United 2-year-old grandpa Tops. Don't worry, you'll be there soon. 81-year-old man said Isak, Mo, Ekitike, and Verts. Big up Carlos. He says congrats on the 4K. Big up, brother. Appreciate you, man. And yeah, appreciate the kind words, my brother. And yeah, thanks everyone that's already subscribed to the channel, man. Been a massive plus this obviously this summer, keeping the channel going, doing obviously some content for you guys. And yeah, obviously the channel is growing, man. So yeah, one step at a time. We're the next is for 5K. So yeah, big up everyone that's already tuned in, and big up for the support as always. Mayhem says Carlos supports Chelsea like it's a family legacy. Let's be real, Chelsea's legacy started when Roman bought them like a used car off eBay. The man brags about winning culture while his team's out here collecting L's like it's a loyalty program. If ambition had a face, Carlos's club would be a picture before. Carlos talks about, geez, you're after Carlos today, isn't it? Carlos talks about Chelsea's future like he's reading Aeroscope, full of hope, zero facts. His club dropped $1 billion just to become a banter era reboot. Big up, Dom. You've made it, man. You've made it. You're here. Morning all. I hope everyone is good this morning. Good to see you in the building, my brother. I was obviously with Dom last night on True Gunner's podcast. Make sure you go check that out on True Gunner, his YouTube channel, man. But yeah, all fun and games, man. And yeah, I was a bit worried that you might not make it, man. But he says Tops welfare check complete with a laughing emoji. I hear that, bro. I'm glad you made it safe and sound, and you're in the building, and you managed to be in the chat, man. Good, always good to see you in here, brother. Hopefully you are well this morning. Big up 7 on DR, man. Good morning, Tops, with a fire emoji. Good morning, brother. Hopefully you are well, my guy. Good to see you in the chat as always, my bro. Mayhem is going mad, man. All this point, Chelsea is in a football club. It's a 1 billion. It's like he saved all this up from yesterday. I'm saying here. Man said this Anfield done with a laughing emoji. Crazy, man. Crazy. But yeah, big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys, obviously, like I said, smash the like button and subscribe if you've not done it already. But yeah, obviously, just going to talk about how Liverpool would fit Ekitike and Isak in the same team. Obviously, they've already bought Ekitike for what, £80 million all in, and then they're looking like they're going to get Isak potentially for 120, 130, 140. So yeah, we're going to have a look at how they could potentially fit them both in. It says Liverpool's summer window was already the most curious we've ever seen from a Premier League champion. Signing Bundesliga stars at mass and swapping out fullbacks implies a major tactical shift that would be emphatically, and the Jurgen Klopp era. And held in a dawn of a new one. But bringing in Newcastle's Alexander Isak would push Liverpool's transfer business into unprecedented territory, having already also signed Hugo Ekitike from Frankfurt. Not since the good old days of 4-4-2s. Bro, back in the day, man, 4-4-2 used to be, everyone used to be playing 4-4-2. That's when you used to have 4 strikers in your squad because you needed it. You need 2 starting strikers, 2 backup strikers. And now some teams have 1 striker in the whole team or in the whole squad. So yeah, it's crazy. When little and large strike partnerships, little and large, your Crouches and the foes. Bro, there's loads, man. There's loads of little and large kind of examples, man. With little and large strike partnerships were borderline mandatory. Have we seen a top club sign 2 elite number 9s in the same window? I mean, I don't know if I'd call Ekitike an elite number 9 yet, but I get what they're trying to say. 2 high-profile number 9s for a lot of money in the same window. What exactly is Arne Slot thinking? Here are 5 ways it might work. So a narrow, ultra narrow 4-2-3-1 with Verts, Ekitike, Salah behind Isak. So this is the kind of the team. Obviously, the back 4 with Alisson, Gravenberch, and McAllister as the 2. Maybe as like a pivot or kind of both playing like in terms of like a switching obviously positions as well, box to box kind of vibe. And then you've got the 3 behind the striker. So you've got Ekitike kind of drifting out to the left, maybe like a left-sided forward. Same with Salah, with obviously Verts in that kind of number 10 role. And then Isak as kind of the main striker there. So that's kind of one formation they could play. It says all of our theories are going to require some square pegs and round holes. Yeah, of course. I mean, you could argue you're then relying on Kirkes and Frimpong really to provide a lot of the width in this formation, considering, again, these guys are going to be pretty close to each other in terms of being able to combine stuff like that and obviously switch positions, possibly Ekitike swapping with Isak in-game as well. But yeah, it says Liverpool could deploy a 4-2-3-1, which the wingers, Salah and Ekitike, are so narrow. They operate as more as the 10s, either side of Verts, with the width that provided by the 2 flank fullbacks, which I just said. Frimpong is a very attacking right-back whose presence is likely to push Salah more infield anyway. while Ekitike tends to drop into the 10 position, even when starting as a 9. So we will see the graphic here. So this is kind of Ekitike's open play touches here. Yeah, a lot of obviously period of time in that kind of 10 role there, as it 11%, 7%, and obviously 9% up front. So yeah, that kind of area is kind of the key area for him in there. So he does kind of drift out and obviously come back a little bit, kind of like a false 9/10, etc. So yeah, very interesting there. This system would allow more fluid movement among the trio of the 10s. For example, with Salah and Ekitike just wide, the other would remain narrow alongside Wirtz, creating a box shape with McAllister and Gravenberch. That is so important for the modern day tactics. Other moments, Ekitike and Salah may drive into the more central area next to Isak, making it like a 4-4-2, and connecting obviously the 2 10s behind them. And this is arguably the most dynamic formation Slot could use to get all 4 players into the starting lineup, but it would require a department from what went before. I feel like, again, with this formation there, probably it would require a lot of defensive work from the 2 midfielders as well, because a lot of these guys are going to be occupying more of the attacking roles, the attacking spaces, which could leave Kerkez and Frimpong quite isolated if Gravenberch and McAllister are not obviously helping them, if Salah, which he wasn't really doing too much last season, and Ekitike isn't really helping kind of the threat going the other way. So very, very interesting. Very attacking, but very interesting. This is another kind of formation. Another 2, it's a 4-2-3-1 again, but it is obviously Ekitike replacing Diaz as the left winger. So this is Ekitike on the left rather than a Diaz. We obviously Isak up front rather than Nunez. Obviously, you got Wirtz in the 10 rather than Szoboszlai, and obviously Salah in his normal position. I feel like this is a bit more balanced in terms of a bit more width there, a bit more protection potentially if you guys need to obviously get the wingers tracking back against obviously a tough opposition. And again, yeah, it just feels like a little bit more balanced. I don't know obviously how well Ekitike can play on the left. It says the simpler thing to do is to fully convert Ekitike into Luis Diaz's replacement, assuming the Colombian forward completes his move to Bayern Munich. Ekitike has played just 9 games, 2 starts as a left winger, though, although he tends to drift out wide anyway, most notably through the 2023-2024 season. So this is like his touch map. I can't even say it, man. Touch map. Finally got there. Obviously, in that season, a lot of obviously touches on the left-hand side as well. It says more importantly, the way Slot has used Cody Gakpo and Diaz as a 1v1 dribblers, using their acceleration to cut inside the fullbacks, corresponds with Ekitike's best qualities. Obviously, Ekitike is a very good dribbler. In the Bundesliga last season, Ekitike came 5th the attempted dribbles, and for shot-ending carries, 44. He's also provided 8 assists as well, ranked 5th for attacking sequence involvement. So yeah, a lot of attackers there. Man, big up everyone in the building. Make sure you guys smash up the like button and subscribe to the channel. Let me get to the comments real quick. I said I had a half an hour with a laughing emoji. Big up Luis Garcia. It says exclusive agreement in principle. Isak in Liverpool for the contract until 2030. The option for 2031. The striker wants to join Liverpool, pushing to leave Newcastle. That's Nico. I know obviously he's had a few exclusives before. I think I won. I said this age verification of under 18s coming. Anfield means you're cooked. That's funny, man. That's funny. Big up Carlos as always. Reds are set to submit a new bid to try and sign the Swedish, who is the main target. Yeah, I think that's going to come this week, man. Luis Diaz has signed for Bayern Munich. It's the spirit of LFC fans. Big up yourself, brother. But yeah, Anfield, I'm a world champion. You cannot cook me with a laughing emoji. Carlos supports Chelsea like it's a personality trait, but the only thing more inconsistent than his club is his barber. What the hell? Man walks around about history. He was formed in 2003. I don't know what got into mayhem, man. Man's on Carlos's neck. The first formation tops, they'll get cooked. They're going to get hit in transition. Salah and Ekitike won't track back either. We'll ease that when he shifts to the left. I can't wait. You know what? That's a very good point. This is what I said. I feel like that formation there is probably the worst one out of the probably ones he picked. This one here is not that one. That's actually a decent one. But this one's very narrow, man. Too much space in behind here. And again, it relies a lot on Kerkez and Frimpong being very, very complete in terms of 1v1 defending, man. Because a lot of the time, they might even get doubled up on if you got an attacker. Like, for example, say if it's Arsenal, you got Saka and Ben White doubling up on Kerkez. Ekitike probably isn't going to be tracking back as intensely as maybe he would do in a wider position because he'd be naturally out wide anyway. So, yeah, I feel like, again, that would be maybe only for certain teams, man. I don't think you could play that against the big teams, but you never know, man. You never know. Obviously, this is kind of the more conventional way. This is what they play now already. It's just whether Ekitike is going to be better at Diaz in terms of that wide kind of area. But yeah, that's obviously another kind of trait they can definitely do for sure. This is another one here, a 4-2-2-2. So yeah, this is obviously the defense there, and then obviously Gravenberch and McAllister, and now Verts out wide now with Salah, and then obviously Isak and Ekitike. Now the problem with this one is that it relies heavily a lot on this midfield to kind of win the midfield battle with two of them instead of obviously the normal three. Obviously, sometimes you would get Verts or the number 10 drop back into a 3 when they're defended. Is he going to do that out wide? And if he does do that, is it going to create a space and a gap on this left-hand side here with Ekitike and Isak up front? I think he would allow, or basically they would have to shift across. Like Wirtz would have to go in the, kind of that midfield role, and then Ekitike would have to probably go on the left with Isak up front to kind of protect the balance and shape of the team. Because Ekitike's best football at Frankfurt came as a part of a Stratton partnership with Mamouche, obviously a 3-5-2, which obviously saw Manchester City buy Mamouche in January. Mamouche and Ekitike regularly swap positions. As one dropped and the other went in behind, it was a rhythmic balance that controlled defenders and propelled Frankfurt into a title challenge until late December. Liverpool are unlikely to move to a back three anytime soon, not at least because 3-5-2 with Ekitike and Isak would mean benching Salah, but there is a way to put Isak and obviously Ekitike together, albeit a risky one. Slots Liverpool regularly line up in a 4-2-4 or a 4-4-2 when not in possession. Well, crucially, that's with a 10. Solanke playing very much as a third midfielder when Liverpool have the ball. This is what I literally just said, man. They kind of need a third kind of guy playing in that kind of midfield role, because again, it's going to be very, very hard for them to gain control with 2 men against 3 all the time. So yeah, what we're suggesting here is notably more fragile through the midfield, requiring a 2-man midfield to cover all the space when a quick turnover triggers opposition counter-attack. They're also the problem of playing Verts and on the left, a position he's only very occasionally played for Bayer Leverkusen in Germany. In the likelihood, this is one where Liverpool are chasing the game. It's a bit of a kitchen sink kind of thing compared to the others one. So yeah, I don't really see them playing that. I feel like they lose too much control in the midfield. But yeah, it could be an interesting one to say the least. Big up everyone in the building, man. It says Carlos Blood, if Palmer leaves, you're effed. Carlos with the laughing emoji. Carlos, you can't beat us, Blood. If it was your story, it would be different. Big up. Oh, sorry, I missed 7 on DR. It says, what's the latest on Arsenal? I see the title that Trossard is set to leave. So the stories of him staying was a lie. He did almost throw hands with the set piece coach after the Milan game. Yeah, it's looking like, according to reports, that is most likely destination is he's going to leave 7R. So yeah, I think potentially within the next couple of weeks he might be out the door. Obviously, Borussia Dortmund obviously is linked with him, as well as a couple of other Premier League clubs. I'll definitely get into it later on. But yeah, I think that is definitely going to be the case, my bro. But big up yourself for being in the chat for sure. He says there was a story that I read about why Zinni is staying and why also now that it is a backup to Calafiori again if he's injured, but I haven't seen any on why Trossard will. In terms of staying, yeah, it's looking like potentially again the kind of idea is to try and get one of Trossard or Martinelli out, potentially to try and get a left winger in, whether it's Leao or Rodrigo, whoever it may be. I think there is an idea that they definitely want another left winger in before the end of the transfer window, but they definitely need a departure, a major one in my opinion, for it to be obviously concrete. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see, man. Again, I feel like they are probably trying to let go of the likes of Reece Nelson and Fabio Vieira, these kind of players, even Gabriel Jesus, trying to get him out on loan, maybe with an obligation or an option to buy when he's injured, I think will help us in terms of getting the wages off the bill for a season and also being able to afford someone else's wages coming through. Because listen, you would imagine that Rodrigo's going to want 300 mil. 300k a week. Let's just say we're able to get him. Jesus is on 265. If you can somehow get him to come off that, whether it's a team playing the majority of it or a team paying, because what I did read is that maybe a team can pay half of it, but then the loan fee would cover the other half of the wages, essentially us not paying him for the entire year, which would then free up us actually paying someone his kind of salary that we want to bring in. So there is kind of ways around it for sure, man. There is definitely kind of ways around it for sure. But big up yourself. Anfield, your world champion won't rise. Diaz out, Isak in. Mo Salah over Chelsea. Alexander Isak and Liverpool have reached a principle in have agreed have reached an agreement in principle for a contract 2020-30. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see with that, man. Big up Darwin says, genuine question, are Liverpool fans who know more than me about the team, worried about things defensively. Both starting team and depth, assuming a DM or more defensive cover isn't brought in. Yeah, that's a very good point. Like I said to you, Dom, yesterday, bro. I did read a couple of days ago that Slot said he was happy about his defensive kind of structure in terms of having the likes of just Gomez, Konate, and Van Dijk. And he suggested that he's got Gravenberch that could play in obviously centre-back position, and also Endo, who's obviously played there before in that centre-back role. So, yeah, I don't know whether that's kind of a bargaining tool that's trying to get Crystal Palace to lower their kind of transfer fee for obviously Mark Gahey, to try and suggest that we're not desperate for him. So you can know we can wait for another year and just get him on a free next year. I don't know whether they're trying to do that. Possibly, but if he's actually telling the truth and he's actually really generally happy with it, I really question that kind of thought process, for the simple fact that, you know, Gomez is quite injury prone, and Konate every season normally has a period of 4 or 5, 6 weeks where he does miss the portion of the season, which then you're relying on a 33, 34-year-old Van Dijk to play every single game, as well as obviously maybe playing with a player that's not obviously known to be a defender like Endo, like Gravenberch. And also, if you're taking Gravenberch out that 6 role, I think Liverpool got major problems, because, again, I feel like that he covered a massive hole in terms of them needing a proper DM after obviously Fabinho obviously left the club. He kind of filled that gap really, really well last season. But again, if he's not in that kind of role, then I feel like they become very vulnerable in that midfield state. So yeah, it's a very, very reasonable question. I know everyone's excited about all these massive attacking signings, but defensively, man, in terms of cover, in terms of obviously their starting lineup, in terms of if they get 1 or 2 injuries, you're looking at them playing players that you wouldn't really want to be playing on a regular basis for a long period of time. So I definitely feel like they have to have a replacement for Quanta for sure. And even like that DM role, like, again, it's very, very reliant on obviously Gravenberch staying fit for the entire season again, which he basically did, and being in form for the entire season again, which he basically was for last season. So yeah, I do feel like potentially it could be a difficult one for them. Big up Spirit of Liverpool fans. It says Liverpool need Gay for cover. Liverpool need a proper CDM to protect the back four. Dirty work, win the ball back. This is what I'm saying, man. These are kind of the 2 positions, really. If you could kind of, obviously, again, everyone wants Isak and stuff like that. But if I'm being honest, if you could probably pick between the 2 in terms of what you actually desperately need, because I feel like Salah's going to score goals. I feel like Ekitike will score goals as well. I think that DM role and that centre-back role, you definitely need to buy someone in there for sure. Because, again, the centre-back, you are going to get some injuries there with the players you've got there. And say if Van Dijk gets injured, that's when you obviously you're really going to be in problems. So I do feel like you definitely need like a Mark Gay who can probably hold the fort if you get a few injuries and play a lot of games and obviously play well. Spirit of Liverpool fans says Liverpool Gay, Blaber, Rodriguez. Wow, it is wow, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Imagine if you got all that, man. That's crazy, man. Thanks, Spirit of Liverpool FC. It was something I was thinking about yesterday with regards to Liverpool. Yeah. Obviously, I remember you did bring it up in terms of their defensive prowess. But yeah, it makes sense, man. To be fair, when I've had obviously Liverpool chats in my chat, they have all said they definitely need a centre back. They were like, we need defensive cover, we need a centre back. It's not so many on the CDM front, but again, obviously, Spirit of LFC obviously said he wants someone like a Belaber to come in and win the ball back, more like a destroyer kind of thing. To really take the pressure off someone like obviously Gravenberch, who is playing every single game. Big up just one. It says Ollie Watkins to Man U. What do you think? I think potentially there's a deal to be done, but I feel like again it's going to be heavily reliant on Man United selling some players. I think potentially you're looking at the likes of Garnacho, you're looking at the likes of Anthony, Sancho, these kind of attacking players are so surplus to requirements. I feel like they need to be moved on quite quickly. Because again, Man United have already spent quite a lot of money on those attacking areas without any kind of departures. So yeah, in terms of efficient money, only Rashford really on an option to buy that's really gone out the door. So yeah, I think you guys need some salesman to really kind of balance the books in terms of not being in Europe, not being in the Champions League, spending a lot of money in attacking areas, and also being able to obviously maintain that. So yeah, I think potentially could happen, but in my opinion, I think you're probably more likely to try and get Sesko if you can get some money into the club. Because I think from a long-term perspective, I think you probably prefer to go get him. Because again, he's younger. He's someone that, again, if he actually bangs and does very, really well, you don't have to worry about that center forward kind of position for another 4 or 5 years. Whereas with Ollie Watkins, after about a few years, you're probably going to need him to replace him. Because again, he's going to be in his 31, 32 kind of phase. So yeah, but we'll see, mate. We'll see. I feel either way, I think Ollie Watkins is probably going to cost about 50, 55 mil. Sesko, 68, 69, 70 mil, I think. So it's going to be a lot of money for either, I believe. No worries. Liverpool focusing on attacking side of their game. We need to sort out the centre back and CDM. Yeah, I agree, bro. Liverpool could formalise their interest in Newcastle striker, whose availability slot side inquiry about early this month. So yeah, a lot of people are talking about it for sure. Liverpool need to offload Simicast, Ramsey, Williams, Morton, Elliott, Chiesa, Nunes. So yeah, a lot of players to definitely sell still, man. And again, potentially, if you can sell all of these guys for a decent amount of money, I know Elliott's been touted for a 40 or 50 million pound kind of fee, maybe to Brighton. So yeah, I think potentially you could get some decent money for all of these because again, Liverpool are very good at selling their players. So yeah, it's crazy, man. Big up Carlos. He says teams I fear in the league, absolutely effing no one. Man thinks it's McGregor, world champions. Big up Latvian Goon says big up Tops. Have we won the league yet with a laughing emoji? I wish, bro. I absolutely wish, man. But nah, we haven't done it yet, my friend. Big up yourself as always, bro. Big up 7RDR says there are more talks about Martinelli actually going to be more in the second striker position. Okay, occasionally wing, and I have it back to midfield. Wing, maybe even emergency left back in my Germany team got played there. Yeah, man. I see with the Martinelli one. I think in terms of being like a second striker being used like that in game, I feel like we tried to do that in the AC Milan game where he was kind of like the last man in transition, trying to play a ball over the top to him, but yeah, I don't know in terms of whether that's sustainable to do it every single game. I know we tried to do it even against Liverpool, and he actually played very, very well. This is why I feel like with him, even though again, his own development, I think he should be a bit better. I think in terms of where we're playing him, we're not playing him in a position where he can actually be impactful. He needs to be more in the center of the pitch where he can make forward runs into the areas and stuff like that, use his pace rather than being isolated out wide, trying to take a man 1v1 with his fullback and trying to skill him on because that's not the type of player he is anyway. So yeah, potentially I feel like might be a better kind of position for him. In terms of the habits thing, I'm not really happy with him being anywhere in midfield. I think potentially maybe as a second striker, if you're going to play him and Gyökeres together, maybe him like as a number 10 linking up like a second striker. Like he did it a few times last season or the season before, sorry, with Jesus. I remember at Luton, it was like both of them up front. And obviously they combine well for a couple of the goals. So I think like he can play as like maybe a duo, but again, you lose quite a lot in midfield if you have a player that's not going to be helping joining in that midfield battle three. So yeah, potentially things to think about for sure. Big up Tom Ford. It says big up Top. Some same journalist, same personal terms are done, and his salary will be 13 million a year, which is 250k a week. Listen, man, I feel like again that's pretty fair considering he's definitely one of the best strikers in the league. You'll say definitely he's top 2 or 3. So yeah, to be getting that kind of money when you're seeing apparently someone like Mbuemo getting 250 a week as well after having one good season, you could argue he's definitely warranted. I know on Newcastle, I think he's on like 130, 140. I know it's pretty low considering the caliber of play he's become, man. So yeah, I think getting him for that money, I think fair play. If you can afford it, do it. Big up Latvian, it says Havertz at left back. Can I cry? Listen, it would not surprise me if Havertz is at left back, man, because again, we've seen him play there for Germany, and we kind of got some left back issues potentially if Calafiori is not obviously fit for the majority of the season. That kind of leaves you with Miles Lewis Skelly if you assume Zinchenko is going to be leaving, man. So yeah, it would not surprise me if we end up putting him there for a game. I can't lie. Also, fans are saying that Liverpool still needs Zubi-Dubi-Doo. Good morning with a laughing emoji. Good morning, everyone in the building. Big up Chanzo, big up Terrell Gunner TV. Good to see you in the chat, my brother. Hopefully you are well, good and sound. Big up Tops in the community. Big up Godfrey, my brother, man. Big up, always supporting the chat as always, man. Big up yourself every single time, brother. Hope you are well. Good to see you in the building as well, my bro. Dabby T, morning all. If Isak has agreed personal terms and no formal bid yet, then that's tapping old-fashioned terms. Tapping up. Maybe Liverpool are now behaving properly in order to keep good relations. Maybe, man. I feel like again they've probably been pushing him outside for him to kind of not turn up to training and stuff like that to try and make it clear that he wants to leave the club. I feel like that will make negotiation with Newcastle a bit easier because, again, if Newcastle are under the conclusion that Isak wants to stay or he's not in any kind of rush to move, then they're going to make it very difficult for him to go. Because, again, they don't want to sell him. Even though they put the £150 million price tag, they don't want to sell him for that point. That's just kind of a tag they put out there to try and scare off all the other kind of teams. But in reality, I feel like, again, they're kind of trying to make sure that they get the best kind of replacement in, whether it's a Sesko or a Whistle or both, before they kind of negotiate with Liverpool at any kind of state. But I think Liverpool must be very confident that they can get the player over the line, considering they want to obviously agree personal terms with him as well. So yeah, big up Godfrey says, big up Terrell, big up everyone in the building, man. Big up RS, man. Sesko will use what every Prem club does. He's a stepping stone, so I won't bank on him being a long-term option. Potentially, man. I mean, if he banks, he might do exactly what he's actually literally just done. You know, play for Liverpool, Newcastle, sorry, for a couple of years, score a load of goals, score against big teams, get 20 plus Prem goals, etc. Then a bigger team like Liverpool, Man City, whoever comes in for him, and yeah, he's out there, he's gone. So yeah, potentially, man, potentially. Big up Carlos. He says that's the new way. Davey, personal terms first. Yeah, for sure. That is the new way, Carlos. Yes, it is, but it's not legal. It will be interesting to see what pans out. I feel like it depends how you go about it. Obviously, you've seen how obviously Morgan's Gibbs White and all that kind of stuff with Tottenham, how they weren't happy with how they've gone about it. I feel like with that one, I think Tottenham, I don't know how they must have found out about that secret kind of release clause in his contract and obviously gone to the player first before obviously contacting Nottingham Forest. So I feel like they don't really like how they've kind of handled it. So then they press charges. I think with this is a bit more kind of clear cut. Remember, Liverpool did go to Newcastle about 10 or 12 days ago saying, we want to buy Isak. We're interested in Isak. That's when they said he's not for sale. And obviously they were trying to get Ekitike at the time. And then obviously now Liverpool got Ekitike. And now Isak said he wants to leave. He wants to obviously explore that kind of move to Liverpool. So I think they have actually done it in a roundabout way where, you know what, they've come to them first, said their interest. Now the players come out and said he wants to join them. So it's kind of put Newcastle in a position where they kind of have an unhappy player with a team willing to buy what their kind of asking price is. So yeah, potentially it might be better if they just kind of sell. Big up Latvian Good and Carlos Dre, of course, man. Big up all the guys in the building. I think it's legal now. Everyone is doing it. I believe it's done through the agency. Yeah, I think it's done through the agents and stuff. Either meteorites, I can't even say it. But yeah, I think it's all done through that, man. So yeah, I think potentially it's going to be a decent one for Liverpool if they get it over the line. Big up 7 on DR says question: if you had to choose who had to stay at the Arsenal, who would it be? Our captain, Odegaard or Havertz? Oh, Odegaard, man. Odegaard, man. I still rate Odegaard. I think, again, he had a poor season last season, and he definitely has something to prove this season because, again, he cannot be having that kind of season as the captain, as one of our highest paid players, as one of our most crucial players in terms of creativity and obviously being that kind of guy near the top to try and help other people score goals. I think he definitely needs to have an improvement in terms of his performance. However, I still rate him and I still think he's a good player. With Havertz, I've never really been on the Havertz train. I didn't really want to sign him. I think he's had some good moments in an Arsenal shirt, but ultimately for the price we pay, 65 mil, the wages he's on, he should be our best player and he's not. So yeah, definitely Havertz. I think Havertz will get sold in the next year or so anyway, because again, the wages that he's on, remember he's going to have 2 years left next season, getting to that point where you're either going to sign him up for another contract and he's going to want more money than the nearly 300 he's on a week now anyway, which again, I don't see how anyone can really justify paying him that much with what he's actually contributing towards the team, or you sell him. So, and again, now we've got a new striker in, it's kind of main positions now, especially if you get someone like an Eze in who can play in the left 8, then you've got Marino who can play in the left 8, Declan Rice who can play in the left 8. So you've got those kind of positions are kind of filled up with other players that you probably would play ahead of him. And now he just becomes literally a rotational player. That's very expensive. So, yeah, definitely would be Odegaard over Havertz, bro. But big up for the question, as always, my bro. Big up David T. He says, top thoughts on Ramsdale. I think a season-long low isn't too bad. Pope isn't reliable. Yeah, I feel like Pope has had a lot of, obviously, injury problems. And, again, one of the weakest part of his game is probably his kicking. I feel like Ramsdale is a very good kicker of the ball, which obviously showed at Arsenal that he can obviously play out from the back pretty well as well. But yeah, I think it's a good deal as well. I feel like, again, not committing a massive transfer fee because, again, Ramsdale I think is a decent Premier League keeper. I don't think he's world class or anything or a top tier level keeper, but I think he's decent. I think, again, he can make some good saves. I think sometimes, again, he can let in shots which he probably should save in terms of his reactions and stuff like that. He's quite delayed sometimes, but I think overall, I think in terms of what you probably want to do going forward, because again, I've seen it against Arsenal in the preseason. You're playing a lot more out from the back now in terms of obviously trying to get Arsenal to press onto you so you can obviously play around them. I think Ramsdale will definitely help more with that kind of attacking style rather than a Nick Pope, because again, Nick Pope's strongest point isn't his kicking. So yeah, I think it's a good deal around alone with an option. See how he does. You don't have to buy him permanently. If he obviously flats to deceive, you can then obviously send him back to Southampton and get a better keeper. So yeah, I think all around it's good, and it gives obviously competition to Nick Pope as well. Good morning, Godfrey. We got Godfrey in the building, man. Guan, Godfrey, Anfield's back. Anfield will do some homework. Big up RS. He says, just because Beard not announced doesn't mean it hasn't happened. doesn't mean we don't have permission to speak to him. Yeah, you know what? I feel like I said, RS. I feel like again, Newcastle are probably waiting to see how far they are in their kind of pursuit of Sesko to try and get that replacement in. Because again, a lot of these kind of teams, whether it's Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Wolves, I feel like they do want to sell these kind of players when it's very clear that the player wants to leave, but they're very adamant on getting in a replacement either through the door, over the line, and quite close together in terms of selling the player, getting a replacement in. You see it with Sporting Lisbon. I feel like the last week, the reason why the Gyökeres deal kind of dragged is because they were kind of waiting to get this Luis Suarez over the line as their kind of replacement striker, which I think they have done now. So, yeah, I think it all depends on what our kind of players are coming in through the door to replace the kind of star players that are going out, man. But, yeah, listen, I think you're going to sign him personally. I think it's just a matter of time. I just literally think it's just Newcastle getting that confirmation that Sesko wants to join them. I think potentially Sesko's kind of waiting for Man United to see if they can either offer him a better package in terms of financially, and also if they can manage to sell some players in the time that obviously he needs to decide which kind of club he wants to go to. So yeah, a lot of waiting around at a minute, but we have to see. I said, Carlos, I'm on summer break. Must have go to play scheme then with the emoji. Newcastle doing the exact same with Wissa. Yeah, for sure. Wissa obviously is not on he's not gone to the preseason tour for Brentford because he wants to obviously push for a move to play for a Champions League club, etc., etc. So yeah, it all swings around about, man. There is a pecking order, man. You know what I mean? Everyone has got their time to obviously bow down to a bigger club. So yeah, I think Newcastle are doing the exact same that obviously Liverpool are doing to them. So yeah, I said take it, go to the bingo hall. Odegaard shouldn't be captain. He has zero leadership skills. I agree. I feel like he definitely either should be Rice or Gabriel, one of the two. I don't really mind which one. I think Odegaard really would even actually benefit having the captaincy taken off him for the simple fact that he then can just obviously focus on his overall game, which obviously needs to improve from last season. So yeah, I agree, man. But again, a ruthless club would probably just take it off him or say, you know what, going forward, Odegaard obviously will be one of the captain groups or whatever, but the main captain now going forward is going to be someone like a Rice or a Gabriel kind of thing. So yeah, I agree, man. But again, I think he's still going to be captain for the time being. Just emojis everywhere. Big up to Dabby T. Says RS, yeah, player power has taken over. I'm not liking it, but hey ho, I'm old school. I hear it, man. I hear it for sure. I hear it, man. You might can see the 40-year-old screaming Dabby because Ramsdale was eyeing up a bird in the upper tier. Unsparring though, I can't lie. Listen, Ramsdale has had a few howlers, man. I can't lie. Like the one. The goal he conceded against Sporting, where he got lobbed from the halfway line, was crazy, and obviously the infinite one against Southampton, where he was literally looking at a bird, and he ended up conceding a goal, which we dropped points. We drew the game 1-1. So yeah, he does have those kind of moments where he's not concentrating. He's a keeper that again he actually suits to Southampton because they're all due respect, they're not obviously great in the league. So he's busy, he's saving here, saving there. That's when he's kind of in his element. When he's got nothing to do, and then he's sprung into life. Concentration levels, man. That's why you see all the kind of tactics he does where he's kind of riling up the crowd and doing the things behind the goal and stuff like that. He's even said it in an interview with Ian Wright, which I can't believe till this day he actually came out and said. Like, that's something you just keep for yourself. You don't say that to the wide public, especially when you're at a big club that you struggle to concentrate and you're a goalkeeper. That's literally the number one trait you need: concentration. What are we doing? So yeah, that was crazy how he came out and said that. But I think potentially he potentially could be a good signing. Again, it's one of those ones where I feel like he's a player that if he's playing in a better team will be better. Because I do think overall for us, I think he was decent, to be honest with you. He was definitely better than I expected. I thought he was going to be absolutely terrible. But the first season especially, I do feel like he made some really good saves and stuff like that. And he was good with his kicking. But yeah, I think he's just a decent keeper. Nothing amazing or anything. So we'll have to wait and see. But again, he might suit your style better than Nick Pope would in terms of playing out from the back, man. But we'll have to wait and see for sure. But yeah, big up Darmy says, I think Ramsdale to Newcastle is a good signing for them. Europa League level keeper and plays out for the back, unlike Pope. Hopefully it becomes a permanent as Arsenal have a sell-on clause. Yeah, that's a very good point. Obviously, you did mention that last night, actually, and you just reminded me. Yeah, Arsenal do have a sell-on clause based off, obviously, them selling him to Southampton. So potentially making it a permanent deal could allow Arsenal to get some money, man. So yeah, that would be an interesting trait. Big up Kurt in the building, man. Hopefully you're well, brother. Good to see you in the building. It says, bro, Anfield, bro, you can't even carry a spoon. If me and Carlos didn't show up, the stream would go downhill. Carlos, I hear this concentration is wanting. We tend to have seagulls of the. Yeah, I can't see that. As Top's #1 mod, I currently and current world champion, I'd like to apologize to you all for the baby of Anfield. Liverpool are now set to, I don't think I've already read that one out. But can also, that's not even a DS. Carlos haven't done that since 2007. He loves watching pigeons mid game. Bro, it's true, man. It's true. I don't know why we even admit that, but yeah, that was absolutely crazy, man. That was absolutely crazy. Big up Latvian Guinness says, real question, does Ramsdale get distracted only by pigeons or also magpies? I have no idea. The fact he gets distracted by any of them is kind of crazy anyway as a Premier League keeper. But listen, again, it's one of those ones where, if for his sake, I hope that doesn't happen to him again. Because you can't be distracted by birds or anything on the pitch. You got to be looking at the ball. So yeah, that's actually kind of madness, man. Big up Darwin says, I have no issue with Odegaard as captain. Leaders take different forms, and he's clearly respected. We only see what happens on the pitch. But Gabriel Rice will overtly lead on the pitch regardless. Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. Again, I guess you know what it is, Dom, as well. I feel like, again, it's one of those things where if we start winning things, I don't think anyone really, no one would care who the captain is. So I feel like, again, people are just saying, okay, maybe if we just improve this kind of element of the team and get someone that's a captain, that's more of an overtly captain, maybe that could be a thing where that takes us over the line. But again, it's those kind of little things that kind of are not really meaningful if you start winning trophies and people are happy and stuff like that. So yeah, potentially, man. Like I said, captains are different in different ways for sure. But yeah, I to be honest with you, I think the captaincy has lost quite a lot of its importance from back in the days where you had a Tony Adams or a John Terry or a Gerrard or these kind of Roy Keane, these kind of massive leaders, massive kind of characters who, again, like even if they weren't the captain, they are the captain because they're just leaders, isn't it? They take the game by the scruff of the neck. They take the team by the scruff of the neck. I don't think you have that much many characters now in the game. I think everyone's quite quiet, very relaxed and stuff like that, which is fine, obviously. But again, different era, different football. But yeah, I think those kind of massive kind of Roy Keane shouting characters, there's not really too many of them about anyway, man. So, but yeah, it's all about probably getting over the line. Really, that's more important. Even knowing I hate Man United, they're still a bigger club than Liverpool. Yeah. Listen, Man United are a massive club, man, and again, one of the biggest in the world. As much as I hate to say it, but yeah, massive Liverpool 21 times. Big up yourself, Kurt. Good to see you in the chat. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit better than obviously you have done for the last couple of days, brother. But yeah, good to see you in here, man. As always, my guy. Kurt, explain how Man United are bigger than us. Big up Darwin says that magpie joke is class. Yeah, for sure. Top's like my new name, Champions of England, Anfield. It's crazy. Have you got FFP? No, I've not. I don't think I'll be playing this year. I can't even now. They tried to say Reece James wasn't a leader too. Yawn. Agreed. His form last season led to a pylon a bit. Yeah, for sure. I think it definitely did, man. Again, because obviously he wasn't the best kind of form he had for the entire season, really. So yeah, hopefully we can see a bit better from him this season for sure. Big up, 7RDR says, against Spurs, I expect the academy players will get another cameo in the second half. Well, who do you think will start in the midfield? Zubi, Rice, and Odegaard, or Wanyeri, Nor VPN, or finally Lokonga? I don't think Lokonga's playing any part of this preseason tour. I just feel like they've just brought him out there for fitness to try and get him fit for another club. So I'll be shocked if he actually plays a minute, man. If he's not going to play the last 2 games, I doubt he's going to play this Spurs game. But in terms of the midfield, I don't know, man. I feel like probably Norgard will probably start again. Maybe Norgard, Rice, and maybe Odegaard. Maybe just change it up a little bit. Put Zubimendi back on the bench and have him come on again. So I don't know, man. It could be Zubimendi again. It could be a thing where it depends how serious probably Arteta's taking it in terms of, is it a thing where he really wants to win it because it's Spurs and obviously he's just going to play near enough his best kind of starting lineup, or does he still want to kind of nurture people back in to the kind of the squad, man, and just give some more people some minutes? You'd assume someone like Kivior is going to play and replace someone like Calafiori, who again, even though he's back in training, you probably don't want to risk starting him again, maybe bringing him on for the last 10 or 15 minutes. So yeah, there's a lot of changes probably there to be made, man. But overall, man, like I said, I just want to see again, maybe some improvement on that left-hand side, maybe something a little bit different in terms of combinations and variety as well. But we'll see, bro. We'll see how we play. But in terms of your question, man, I'll probably go with Norgard, maybe Rice in the 8 again, and then probably Odegaard starting, or maybe Ethan again. Actually. But yeah, they are jokes. The English are too obsessed with passion merchants, man. Again, I feel like if a lot of the times when you do get those kind of guys with loads of passion, their footballing ability doesn't really match up, so they're kind of getting carried because of that character. And sometimes, again, that character might help the particular team, but yeah, I feel like there's way too much what's the word not what's the word, man, way too much highlight on it. Like yeah, I feel like for me, actual how you play football, whether you're a massive character or not. Bro, if you kind of make things happen on the pitch, it doesn't really matter if you say too much. If you're influential there, then I feel like in that way, it's kind of a bit of being a leader. Like Cesc Fabregas was definitely not like a loud kind of character, but he kind of was a leader in terms of how he used to dictate the play, how he used to control it on the pitch himself, rather than actually talking and shouting. So yeah, I think potentially, man, how you are as a footballer can dictate if you're a leader or not as well, not just if you are loud and aggressive. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I agree, man. DSL will now free Liverpool to go intensify their pursuit of Isak. Yeah, that's pretty much going to be a thing for sure. It says domination. VVD tells everyone what to do, leads by example. So does Rodri. What does Odegaard do? He barely speaks, and it looks like it affects his form. In my opinion, that's kind of the only kind of bit in terms of the form thing. I feel like it definitely, him being relieved of it could definitely bring out a bit of extra, or release some of the pressure that he's feeling. Because again, he's probably thinking, I'm out of form and I'm the captain, so I should be one of the better players. That's kind of the stigma when you're the captain. You should be one of the best players or more consistent players on the pitch every single time. So potentially that might be a thing where you can actually do that as well. So yeah, man. But again, if it's up to me, I'd definitely put it on Rice and Gabriel, me personally. But yeah. I think obviously Odegaard's going to keep it anyway, so it's one of those ones, man. Carlos says your retirement home have a good Wi-Fi. That's crazy. Retirement home, I'm on the beach, Anfield. My fix is 91, man. Big up T, says Luis Diaz with a love heart. Big up yourself. Blood time me out. Laughing emoji. Big up Davy T. Massive respect for Liverpool going back to the 70s. Some of the younger player generation need to learn from their past. Paisley, Moran, Shankly, competitive but gentlemen. Big up Davy T, man, for that comment there. Look at the emoji. Carlos brags about Chelsea's Club World Cup like it's some elite achievement. Bro, you beat a team of part-time Uber drivers, Brazilian farmers to lift a trophy that even FA forgets exists. That's crazy. Luis Diaz with a love heart. My midfield three would be Rice, Zubimendi, Odegaard. It can be Ethan. I want that to be the 3 straight games from the bench of the captain. Then this injury rumors might be true. No, crazy, man. Diaz and Bayern, man. Big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys smash the like button on the video. Early on 16 likes, man. Let's see if we can get it to 20 likes, people. What's going on? Let's see what we can do, guys. Let's see what we can do, man. But big up everyone in the building. Let me get to obviously the Arsenal news quickly as well. Like, again, obviously talking about departures potentially. It's Arsenal respond as 2 Premier League clubs make offers for Leandro Trossard. So yeah, Leandro Trossard is could be on his way out of Arsenal. It says Leandro Trossard is increasingly likely to leave Arsenal after 2 Premier League clubs made concrete offers for the Gunners winger. Trossard, who joined Arsenal in a £27 million deal from Brighton in 2023, has been reportedly linked with a move away from Arsenal this summer. The Gunners spent over 50 million, crazy money, to sign England winger Noni Madueke and remain interested in signing a new left winger, as well as Crystal Palace attacking midfielder Eze. So yeah, this is probably the first kind of article I've seen that says that we want a new winger and Eze. Obviously, Fabrizio has said kind of we just want Eze, but Eze is the next focus. Obviously, Ornstein has kind of hinted that potentially we could get a left winger, but we have to sell one of Trossard or Martinelli. So yeah, this is obviously positive news. Again, a new left winger and Eze. Whether we can do that or not, obviously, is another thing. But yeah, obviously a positive step in the right direction. It says Trossard was linked with Bayern Munich in the summer. I remember obviously talking about that earlier on. But the Bundesliga champions have bolstered Vincent Kompany's attack options with the £65.5 million sign for Luis Diaz from Liverpool. Belgium international Trossard has attracted interest from Bayern's Bundesliga rivals Borussia Dortmund, who are monitoring his situation at the Emirates. According to Plattenberg. So yeah, Trossard has 2 years left on his current contract, will look set for a summer switch, and has also received concrete offers from 2 unnamed Premier League clubs. Now, apparently, one of these clubs wanted to offer a loan, which again, listen, doesn't make any sense if we're being honest. We want to sell him. If he's going to leave, we're going to have to sell him. He's 30 years old. We're not going to loan him out. It's easy to see the appeal of signing Trossard. A 30-year-old has scored 27 goals over the past 2 seasons. Very good record, to be fair, decent. And I was a key player for Brighton before he's moved to North London. I think in terms of his GA, he's definitely been very, very effective, even though last season is probably his most inconsistent season out of the probably 3 he's been here. But again, he still obviously scored a winner against Spurs. He still scored some crucial goals in some games in the Champions League and that. So yeah, I feel like he definitely can still contribute. While Arsenal are yet to formally respond to any offer for Trossard, the Times say that it's increasingly likely to cash in and hopefully starting a bidding war between interested parties. Trossard's sale would boost Arsenal's transfer kitty after some expensive signings and help fund moves for other targets, potentially including Eze. So this is the incomings from Arsenal so far. Gyökeres, Mascara, Madueke, Norgard, Zubimendi, Kepa, outgoings. I mean, these are obviously academy players, Butler, Doji, and Thorne, Jorginho, Tierney, Raheem Sterling, and Neto went back on their obviously parent clubs. Tavares, Marquinhos, I think, went back to Brazil, and obviously Tomiyasu's contract got torn up. So yeah, no actual fees for any of these. All these other went, and it's crazy how they've obviously not put obviously Partey in there as well. But yeah, it says while Arsenal are open to a summer sale, Trossard has been began to consider his next move, as he's aware if he stays put, he will face even more competition for game time next summer, as well as signing Madueke. Also have strengthened Arsenal's. Arsenal have strengthened Arteta's squad with the additions of Gyökeres, Zubimendi, Christian Norgard, Christian Mascara, and Kepa Arrizabalaga. Asked about the club's transfer policy after the preseason win against Newcastle, Arteta said, "Let's see what happens, man." So yeah, very, very interesting, man. Very, very interesting, man. Big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe. Big up Arsenal Domain. He says, yeah, I think if the captaincy isn't impacting him as a result of extra pressure, then he should give it up. But he captained the side without issue for 2 years, so I don't think it is. Maybe, man, maybe. I think, again, you look at obviously his injury record from last season, missing 3 months out. I think potentially we did rush him back when he obviously played against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Didn't really recover from that. But then also as well, his own actual performance, he has to take responsibility for it. I think he did actually come out and say he was not good enough last season for his own standards. So when he's actually saying that in interviews, that's saying, you know, he's been playing really, really bad. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think he has to obviously take responsibility in terms of how his performance is, especially as the captain as well. So hopefully we get a better performance from him this summer, this season, because I still think he's a good player. But he definitely has to show it more this season for sure. Big up Lavin Goon says, I cannot wait for the midfielder Marino Norgard. Bro, that's definitely going to be something to behold of for sure. That's going to be fun. So do you like Bayern? I think they're all right. I think they're all right, man. I said my EFPL team, 5. That is crazy. That is crazy. That's a red. That is a straight red. I want 20 mil for Leo. Yeah, you know what? 20, 25 mil. I think whatever we paid for him, 30-year-old, 2 years left. I think it would be a decent bit of business if I'm being honest. But yeah, I think potentially getting Trossard out the door could obviously mean that we do get someone in, which will obviously be a good sign for sure. Big up Darmy says Trossard has been good for us. If he exit leads to Eze plus a left winger, I'm excited, but I doubt he raises enough funds to make it Eze and Rodrigo despite other departures. Yeah, I agree with that, man. I feel like, again, I agree. I think Trossard's been good. Literally, for a £25 million player that we weren't actually even going to get, we were going to get Mudryk, and obviously Chelsea went in and got him instead. I think he's definitely been a decent value for money for the 2.5 years he's been here, scored some good goals and stuff like that. And sometimes it's been very clutch in some kind of big situations, some Champions League games as well in the past. So yeah, I think we definitely got a decent amount of money worth out of him for the 25 mil. And I think if we can get the money back and pull it into some other players that are a bit younger, like we were saying, I think in terms of profile-wise, Eze is probably the natural fit to replace someone like Trossard in terms of stylistically. Obviously, he's a bit better in terms of being able to play in that 10 and 8. But in terms of obviously how he dribbles and stuff like that, close ball control, I think that would be a nice little replacement for him. So, yeah, I think if we can try and get him out the door, and that would accelerate, like you said, an Eze and a left wing option, that would be good. In terms of getting Rodrigo in again, listen, the only thing I can maybe kind of think about or hope is that the fact that obviously Arsenal are trying to haggle down the release clause down is in the hope of if we can get some money down from potentially spending on Eze, then that will leave us more money to spend on a big kind of left winger after we sell Trossard and a couple of other players. So, but we'll see, man. We'll see, man. But yeah, hopefully we can get Eze and a left winger in as well, because then you're looking at our attack literally totally different from last season. New striker, new left winger, Eze in there as well. That's 3 players, starting players that potentially could make an impact in games which we struggle to beat. Everton at home, for example. Fulham away was another game. Newcastle away, we always struggle against. So yeah, definitely could be an impact for sure. Trossard to Palace plus cash for Eze. Listen, I won't be against that, you know. I don't know if obviously Trossard would want to go to Crystal Palace, but again, I think if you can kind of kill two birds with one stone, the only thing probably with that is again, I don't know if both teams would rather have separate kind of transfers going either way, because again, it all adds to the PSR. I think that's why you probably don't see swap deals anymore, because again, if it's no actual cash going in between clubs, it doesn't really count to their obviously them selling the players in it in their obviously PSR kind of profit and sustainability model. So even if they went the other way, I think there'll be separate deals, but kind of a little bit what obviously what Liverpool did with Wirtz and Kwanzaa. Obviously, they kind of went either way as well. So yeah, crazy man. How old is Trossard? Trossard is 31. I think it's 30 or 31, something like that. I think it's 30. But yeah, man. It says Big up Darwin says, I like that idea, Davy. I was worrying about Vieira to Palace as part of an Eze deal. Yeah, I think it's kind of similar as well. I think, again, there would probably be separate deals because, again, I think Arsenal would want the money in the financial kind of funds officially rather than, okay, it's an official swap. But yeah, I think potentially Vieira. I mean, I'm not surprised we didn't do that with Nelson because, again, he's someone that, again, is from London. They need a kind of replacement or someone to kind of fill that hole until they probably maybe get someone else to obviously fill the SAO. I think Nelson would be a good fit for them. So, yeah, I'm surprised that deal isn't really going in that direction. Looks like he's going to go to Fulham. So, we'll have to wait and see, man. But, yeah, anything we could do in terms of trying to offload one of the players we're struggling to get rid of to try and get a player that we're trying to buy off, like a team we're trying to buy off, would be ideal, if I'm being honest, man. Big RS says people need to give up the exchange deals. They barely used to happen anyway. And since PFF and PSR came in, people need cash. That's why if clubs do a two-way transfer, they're still separate deals. Yeah, this is what I was just literally just saying, RS, bro. Like, you seen it with the Kwanzaa and Wirtz deal. Like, it is two separate deals, even though they're going to the obviously opposite clubs. You need the cash, man. You need the cash for the obviously the books at the end of the financial year or 3 years or whatever it may be to really show that, okay, we've got money in. Again, swaps, it's not going to do it for you, unfortunately. So, yeah, we got about 12 million for Tavares and Marquinhos combined. So, not a lot so far. Not a lot indeed, bro. Not a lot indeed, man. And again, you're looking at the rest of the players that we've got, obviously, on our books. Maybe you could get a loan kind of fee of like 5 mil for Reece Nelson. That's quite a lot. Maybe like 2.5 or something. If it's a loan with an obligation or a loan with an option, then Jesus is probably going to be something a bit similar. So, yeah, you are literally looking at Trossard for money. And that's about it, man. Fabio Vieira, you might get, like you were saying before on yesterday's show, if it's a Premier League club like a West Ham or Fulham or someone like that, Brentford, you might be able to get a 15, 20 mil for him. But after that, man, all the guys we kind of want to keep, you're not going to get a lot for. Zinchenko, obviously, you were saying about 10 million for him because of his wages. Kind of sounds about right, if I'm being honest, man, because he's on 150 for a left back. So, yeah, we've kind of made it really, really bad, man, to be honest with you, in terms of shifting these players because the wages are just on too much. Big up RS, he says Odegaard having the capacity and captaincy, also makes him virtually undroppable, which is also an issue if he's out of form. Yeah, I think part of that as well, bro, is that we didn't really have anyone senior to come in his position that can really obviously hold the mantle if he's out of form. Obviously, Ethan Nwaneri is a very good player, but again, 17 years old. Is he capable physically to play 60 games at this age? I don't think so. So, yeah, I don't think he would be good for his development, just sticking him in there, playing him game after game after game. I think he does need time to obviously recover and develop and stuff like that. So, yeah, again, Trossard's not 10. Havertz, in terms of what we want a 10 to do in this system, can't play 10. He's more of a second striker. So, I think bringing Eze in would definitely, even if he is the captain, would definitely push that kind of narrative of just because you're the captain doesn't mean you're going to be playing every single week. If you're not putting in the performances, we expect an Arsenal player to be putting in, and he definitely wasn't towards the obviously majority of the season, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, I feel a bit better, but not really. Thanks, bro. Oh, understandable, bro. I got bad chillings, man. That's obviously terrible news, bro. Hopefully you can come over it, man, and come out the other side of it all clear and healthy, brother. But glad to hear that you're a bit better though. Obviously better than nothing for sure. Big got Luis Garcia says obviously Nunes and Juventus. The plan B if Kawalu Mohani falls through, Liverpool would even be open to a loan with a laughing emoji. That's crazy. Carlos with the emoji there. Big up Diamond says if we can structure the Eze deal as we did with the Zubimendi, that might give you financial flexibility to get a big name winger plus Eze in. Very interesting, man. So you're probably saying pay a bit more than the 68 million pound kind of release clause that again would have to be paid. I think it's in 2 or 3 installments, and just maybe having to pay 70, 75. There is a rumor that potentially that release clause does expire in the middle of August. I don't know how true it is. That's kind of the rumor on obviously Twitter, X or whatnot. So if that was to be the case, that would mean we'd have to negotiate with Crystal Palace anyway. So be very interested in the next couple of weeks what actually happens, whether we kind of go in for a bid or we try and get it a bit lower. But yeah, I think ideally Arsenal want to probably get lower than the 60 with this, obviously an easier structure as well. But potentially, you're right, we might have to pay a little bit more, 70, 75, and get a favorable structure rather than paying the release clause. But we'll see, bro. But yeah, good observation for sure. We got Essie says Madrid looking at moving Vinicius rumors. If that happens, I don't see Rodrigo moving. Yeah, apparently there's a kind of a storming in terms of in terms of Vinicius's contract. I know there's kind of rumors about potentially Saudi making a massive bid, which obviously they always kind of do. Him and Rodrigo always have like Saudi interest, but yeah, man, I can't see both of them leaving either, bro. I think Vinny will stay. I think it's kind of a tactic for him to get a better contract there. I think Rodrigo looks more likely to leave just because, again, I feel like Xabi Alonso is kind of like ushering. I feel like with Xabi Alonso, I think potentially he wants to strengthen other areas in his team. Maybe like get a DM. Obviously, they were linked with Zubimendi as well as other kind of players in that kind of role. I think potentially he wants maybe like a new DM. Send a midfielder to replace like Modric. That's obviously gone to AC Milan. So yeah, potentially I feel like they could use the funds for Rodrigo and obviously spend it on a player in that kind of position. So yeah, I think out the door, he might be obviously out the door, Rodrigo, but it just depends who he's going to go to in this moment in time. Big up Dharma says, yeah, the swap deal would be separate deals, but essentially a swap. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Big up Shane in the building, man. Big up Shane. Good to see you in there, brother. Hope you're well. You guys make sure you go subscribe to Shane and obviously Dom as well. Doing obviously shorts over them sides too. So 6 signings so far and potentially 1 or 2 more. Disgraceful squad management from Arteta. How are we in this situation, needing a rebuild after 6 years and close to 1 billion spent? I mean, yeah, you do have to question obviously the expenditure of some of the money that we've got. Like again, when you're looking at the likes of Kai Havertz and obviously Madueke and all these other guys, the fact that we need obviously more left backs as well. I feel like again, it's been a massive imbalance in terms of how we spent the money in the last 4 or 5 years. I think again, we've seen it with the lack of investment in the attack. I think that's definitely hindered the squad rebuilding in terms of it being a bit more balanced. I think there's been too much emphasis on getting the goalkeeper right, too much emphasis on fullbacks as well, compared to what we should have been putting into those attacking areas. Yes, I agree, and I understand that the attacking kind of signings are obviously more expensive, but again, at the same time, we've had kind of this issue at left wing for 3-4 years now with Martinelli obviously being playing there season after season, where obviously Mikel Arteta wanted Modric. He was linked with Pedro Neto. He's linked with Rafinha. He's been linked with all these players the last 3-4 years, and we've never really pulled the trigger really, apart from getting a backup from Trossard. And then you look at the striking situation where, again, 3-4 years, even after getting Jesus, we've needed a striker, a proper striker to really replace Aubameyang, obviously the cover for Saka. Again, 3 or 4 years after Pepe left. So I feel like that kind of front three has definitely hindered kind of the squad rebuilding stage, because again, it's becoming very imbalanced to the point where we do need now 6, 7, 8 players in one window, for the simple fact that we have to get those players in we should have got in years ago, as well as replace these kind of 2 midfielders that are aging at the same time. So yeah, I think in terms of planning wise, I think again we have wasted some transfer windows, and overall I feel like the squad building could have been much better for sure, much better, man, and should be much better if I'm being honest, with the amount of money we spent and obviously the position we should be in right now. So, but hopefully, Shane, we can try and address that this window and try and get all the positions, because to be honest, bro, I'm not really seeing the transfer window or market where also have actually plugged all the holes in the certain positions and gone on from there. Whether you rate the players that you've plugged the positions in, obviously, is another question. But also don't do either. Also don't get the players in at all. Or again, the positions that we need, obviously, someone in, we just don't buy anyone. Like again, quite on point, the January sale where we desperately needed a forward, we didn't even buy anyone. So yeah, I think again, we need to obviously fill those kind of areas and make sure we've got a backup to Saka, make sure we've got a proper striker, make sure we've got an upgrade on Martinelli and Trossard on the left wing, make sure we've got cover or someone to obviously compete with Odegaard in the 10, which Eze would do, or someone to play in the 8 as well as Eze would do as well. So yeah, I think potentially, bro, this season, hopefully we can get 7, 8 signings in, and yeah, we've got every kind of position filled. And then obviously there's really no excuse, in my opinion, because we've got every position covered. We have to go on and try and win a major, man. We have to do it. But yeah, man, big up yourself, bro, for being in the building. And big up Shane, big up Kurt, man. Hopefully you're well. I'm not sure what to think of Vinny Jr. You know what? I feel like, I don't know what you guys think. I feel like the whole debacle with the Ballon d'Or really kind of affected him in terms of his actual game. I think potentially he kind of took his eye off the ball, got a bit complacent in terms of how he's actually playing week in, week out. Because before then, I think he was putting in very good performances for Real Madrid, and he was very clutch in the Champions League, in La Liga as well. But yeah, last season, Real Madrid fans will tell you he had a very, very bad season. Obviously, again, football is football, man. Everyone has bad seasons as a player. That just happens, innit? But again, man, I feel like that kind of thing with the Ballon d'Or not turning up and stuff like that was just unnecessary, I think. Again, if you don't win it, you don't win it, and you just kind of move on, man. I think it kind of lingered into his kind of actual own performances, and yeah, the expectation of him actually performing week in, week out. I don't think he could handle it last season, and you're looking at this season where he kind of needs a big season, and in my opinion, kind of needs a big performance in like a World Cup to kind of bring back some of the stock, because I think some of his stock has definitely fallen down a little bit with the performances he put in last season already. So, but yeah, bit of a one way. He's got to be consistent for sure. But yeah, Tops are not being picky, but it's pronounced oh, my bad. The V short for David. Oh, my apologies. I didn't realize. I'll call you the V now, man. Big up yourself, brother. Thanks for letting me know. Carlos with a laughing emoji. Arsenal fan crash outs are hilarious. LL Shane. And because he buys so many duds. Yeah, he's bought a few bad ones for sure. Facts are SL. Only 1 in 6 of his transfers work out well. Insane that he can sit in a press conference with a smug smile on his face while his reign has been a total disaster. With a laughing, obviously Carlos with a laughing emoji, enjoying it. But yeah, man, I think again, for me, it's time to deliver. Whether he wants to pick these players, obviously his decision, but it's time to deliver regardless. Whether I rate them, anyone rates them, you're the manager, man. You need to get the best out of these players. If you're obviously you're still picking them, you're picking them out of Watkins and stuff like that. So yeah, man, he definitely has to have a better conversion rate, in my opinion, in terms of some of the signings we've made, man. Someone like Fabio Vieira, I think for 34 mil again. Not good enough, of course, man. And obviously other players as well that we bought. Again, he has bought some good players as well. I'm not going to sit here and say he hasn't, because again, the likes of people like Ben White and stuff like that, and obviously not even get Silly, but Gabriel has been a fantastic signing as well. But yeah, man, I think ultimately we definitely need some the signings that we brought in this summer. For me, majority have to be a hit for it to be a successful season. We can't be having players coming in and you're thinking, why have we bought him? Kind of vibe, which I think possibly Madueke could be, but I'll give him a chance, of course. I'll give him a chance, man. But yeah, it's one of those ones, bro. Big up Diamond says, hope you're feeling better soon, Kurt. Of course, I echo that as well, my bro. Hopefully you are feeling better as well, bro. Big up Robbo. It says big up. Apparently Arteta is top 10 or top 15 in all time. That is crazy, man. That is crazy. Top 10, 15 all-time money spent as manager. That's mad. Big up Shane, big up Kurt, big up Feel Better, bro. I obviously echo that as well. Hopefully Kurt is feeling better as soon as possible. Big up Robbo says, Shane, yeah, if it's not net spend, which is all that matters, he's close to the top of the list. Yeah, for sure, which again makes no excuse for me, in my opinion, that he should be delivering trophies with the amount of time and money he has had at the club. Obviously, you said that already. Carl surprised about Chelsea's Club World Cup like it's the Holy Grail, but no one rates that trophy outside of his deluded group chat. You beat not prime Barcelona. Relax, Carlos. Martin Verts with a sick emoji. Big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys smash up the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel. Carlos with the laughing emoji in here. Your little toe, whatever that means. Big up Chris, long time no see, man. Big up, mate. Hope you are well. Hopefully you're good, brother. Good to see you in the building as always. Carlos, I humbled you so hard, you time me out. Luis Diaz over Verse. Oh, really? Okay. Fair enough. Big up Tops, man. Big up yourself, Jake. Good to see you in the building. Good to see you in the building, man. Big up Davy. He says, such a big Liverpool fan, can't even spell Anfield. Nah, this chat is crazy, man. This chat is crazy. Big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys smash up the like button and subscribe to the channel. But yeah, Davy is Davy's making me laugh there. Big up Latvian says that has Arteta in 5 years spent more than Wenger in 22? Potentially, man. Potentially. I'm not even sure. I'll have to figure out the numbers, man. But yeah, potentially he might have done for sure. But yeah, big up everyone in the building. Obviously, it goes on to say the market is still going and we have to balance out the squad with the balance that out with the squad as well. I think we'll be open to see what happens. The likes of Jorginho, Partey, Tierney, Nuno Tavares, and Tomiyasu have left the Premier League runners-up and Champions League semi-finalists. Also in talks to sell £35 million signing Fabio Vieira, while Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli, Jacob Kivior, and Zinchenko could yet leave. I definitely would be keeping Kivior for the simple fact he's just reliable. I know we can obviously get some decent money for him, probably 25, 30, 35 potentially, depending on who's coming in for him. But yeah, he's just reliable, man. He's a guy that can play left back. Obviously can cover for Gabriel, can cover for Calafiori, who both are struggling with injuries in the last 4 or 5 months. So yeah, I think I'd definitely keep him. The rest, if we could somehow sell Jesus, I don't know how we do it because he's on so much money and he's still injured. You're probably going to be looking at a loan with an option, man. I can't even see an obligation because again, the guy's not even he can't even play yet. So and he's on so much bread, so he's going to have to pull down his wages a lot. 265 he's on. So yeah, potentially, unless you get a team from Europe who are willing to obviously subsidize that and maybe have a loan with an obligation, maybe. But then how much would that money be? 10, 15 mil, 20 mil, depending on the wages. So you don't know. But any kind of, to be fair, I was expecting him to stay, to be honest with you. So anything, us selling him or us loaning him out with an obligation will definitely be a plus sign. I think Gabriel Martinelli, again, potentially could be out of the door if we don't sell Trossard. So that's one to keep an eye on. And yeah, if we can try and get Vieira out for maybe 15, 20 mil. Again, it all adds up, man. It all adds up. Obviously, we've got Tottenham tomorrow. You'll watch along for that in Hong Kong. So that should be very, very interesting, man. So make sure you guys tune in for that as well. But yeah, obviously, that's the Arsenal portion of the beat. Big up normal guy in the building, man. Normal guy. Good morning from America. Good to see you in here, normal guy. Big up every single time, man. Hopefully you are well, my brother. But yeah, great to see you in here for sure. Make sure you guys smash up the like button and subscribe to the channel if you've not done it already, man. It's a beautiful day now that Diaz is left. Obviously, I know, Chris, you are not a massive fan of Diaz, so I know you are buzzing that he's out of your club. So fair play. Hopefully, this is just the worst South American chuckle brother gone for now. I think it could be two, man. It could be two. Translated to English. Big up Chris. I said I must be the only person here start thinking where is Arsenal's recognized left back. Mate, listen, man. It's not mad to say. Even though look at the kind of left back options we do have. Calafiori's a centre back, Zinchenko's a midfielder, and Mazou Skelly's a midfielder. Man, Tierney was the early one. He's obviously left and moved on. So yeah, it's listen. We've not even really got a proper kind of defender that can play there. Again, you can look at someone like Timber, but we need him at right back. I mean, that could be a potential, to be fair. Playing Timber left back, and then having Mascara maybe as the backup right back. I didn't really actually think about that till now. So yeah, that might be the way to go. But even he's not a left back. He's a centre back as well. So yeah, man. You know what it is? Fine. If you want to have these kind of inverted left backs and kind of these guys that kind of tuck in and do it, cool. But I feel like you definitely do need versatility. You do need that kind of left back option where if the game is a bit narrow, they can overlap and maybe put a cross in. That just changes up the dynamic a little bit. Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like, again, we could do with that kind of profile in our squad. But I'll be shocked if we get a left back in now. I think it would definitely have to take maybe Zinchenko getting sold, that maybe we might get in someone to replace him. I don't know. I mean, it was kind of suggested earlier on in the transfer window that potentially, like I said, he could be after a left back. If we sell certain people, like obviously Tierney went on the free, Zinchenko's obviously he'll have to be sold. But with Mascara coming in, I don't know whether that's going to be the defender signing or we're going to get someone else as well. I'm not too sure, man, but we'll see. Big up Jake says, how are you feeling? I'm feeling all good, brother. How are you, my guy? Good to see you in the chat. Good to see you in the building, of course, as always. Big up Red RD Red Road, man. My brother, you know. If you know, you know. Big up, bro, with a fire emoji. Come on, bro, 100%. But it must be some done if he somehow gets rid of Jesus, Tomiyasu this window. Bro, like I said, both of them, I thought, again, these guys are going to just be here. Like, I just kind of disregarded them and said, you know what? They're going to be here. They're injured. They're going to be here till probably next summer. We'll have to get rid of them next summer. Obviously, he's told up Tomiyasu's contract, which I think in hindsight was probably the good thing to do, considering, again, I think he's even more further away than Jesus, I think, in terms of injury-wise. So, yeah, that was definitely going to be a long one where I think with the wages he's on, 100K, just get him off the wage bill. With the Jesus one now, for example, I hopefully think we should get some money for him because, again, I still think he's a decent player. Loads of injury problems, but I think for a European team, I think he can still do a job there. So again, if we could try and get some money for him, bro, even though his wages are massively high. I mean, I think we need to try and get some money for him if we can, for sure. I said, RS going to have to pay. Nah, you see what it is, bro? Like, I get what you're saying because, again, he's on a lot of money, but for me, we've got to try and sell him somehow. We've got to try and get him off the wage bill, but try and sell him, man, because, again, I think paying off Tomiyasu is one thing on 100K. Paying off Jesus on 265 with 2 years left, man, I think, that's just ridiculous. That's like half a mil right there and then with no fee coming in. So, yeah, I think potentially we have to try and get some money for him if we can. Big up T says, Mr. Beast, I would give him a wage just to get him off the wage bill. Says RS. Big up Chris says, Arteta has a disorder signing Chelsea players. We still don't get them at Awake signing even at Nelson level. Yeah, that's one that, again, I get. Obviously the type of profile is similar to Nico Williams. That's why he wants to sign him. But again, in terms of inconsistency, what you're going to get from him, again, it's not going to be at the level we need for a starting left winger. This is why I'm hoping he's going to be the backup and we actually get a proper left winger. And if he's the backup to Saka, cool. Again, I'm still not happy with the amount of money we paid for him because I feel like that could have been used in other areas. But again, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I've been moaning about not getting a backup for Saka for about 3 years because I'm like, you can't keep playing this guy. So if we get backup for Saka, I'm not going to sit here and moan in it. Whether I rate him or not, he's someone that's going to be backup that hopefully Saka can get some more rest now, or obviously not play against Preston, not play when we're 6-0 up against whichever team, or play against Monaco when we're 3-0 up. Like, again, you can obviously rest him in certain games and then move on and obviously have him fresh for maybe the bigger games. So, yeah, Big Up T says no. David, it says Matt Target is available. Bro, Matt Target got twisted up by Max Dowman, bro. I ain't too sure about Target, brother. I'll be real. I'll be so real. Havertz at left back with a laughing emoji. Would not surprise me, my bro. Would not surprise me if that actually happens, man. Because, yeah, that's crazy, man. Make sure you guys smash the like button on the video, man. Let's see if we can get it to 25 likes before I head off. So, yeah, you want that. Listen, we want anything, bro. Any kind of money for sure. Big up Red RD. Big up Rory, man. Big up Red Road. Is Ben White still at Chelsea, or is he gone on Palace permanently? I think it was a loan, so I think he's actually back at Chelsea. Which, you know what that means, Rory. You know what that means. Deadline day. Hey, deadline day, bro. Need a left back. Zinchenko's just left. Hey. It's crazy. I didn't realize also I've actually bought 9 players from Chelsea in the Premier League era, man. 9 players. I think the second most we've bought is, I think, Lille. I think we bought 3. I'm not even sure who the third one is. I know we bought, obviously, Jorginho and Pepe from Lille. I don't know who the third one is, but yeah, I did a short earlier, and 9 players, man, from Chelsea. Crazy. Big ol' RS said, I had a Chelsea fan tell me MLS was a better left back than Kirkes. When he's in a left back, he's a good player, but he doesn't really know his position at left back. That's why he's rational. Yeah, I agree. And again, he's 17, 18, still learning his game. But I agree with that, man. He's definitely very. He can be rash, can get caught out sometimes. But again, that's part and parcel of learning the game at that kind of young age in a position that's not really your position. But I still think he's got very good qualities in terms of he can be good defensively as well, and he's very good at dribbling, holding off the ball, very strong, can play a pass as well from left back situations. So yeah, I think he's got some very excellent qualities, and he's a good player. But yeah, I think again, in terms of that left back position, he definitely needs more experience there. That was his first official kind of season playing at left back, and he only played for half a season. So yeah, I think it's very early to say he's the best at anything, if I'm being honest. Big up Jake, he says, I hope you are well, my guy. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed to his channel. Big up Jake, man. Appreciate the kind words as well, as always, bro. Are you an Arsenal fan? I am indeed, T. I am indeed. You guys in the comments let me know what fan, what team you guys support if you've not already. Big up Jake, he says, I'm a big Arsenal fan as well. Ekitike making his debut at 11:30. Oh yeah, you guys are playing it as well, aren't you? I'm not sure who you're playing against. Please like this video if you did. Massive 10 over 12 with a laughing emoji. I'm not sure what that means, but yeah, big up yourself. Let me just quickly go on to the last bit of news before I wrap up. Man United exploring swap deals with Chelsea on Aston Villa to offload Alejandro Garnacho. So yeah, potentially Garnacho could be going the other way to try and get some money in or some kind of fee in to try and go after maybe an Ollie Watkins or whatnot. So yeah, that could be very, very interesting, man. Very interesting for sure. Manchester United have spoken. Oh, if it lets me. Obviously, this is Buemo's clips there. So yeah, it'd be interesting kind of signing. However he makes it for sure. But yeah, I think Manchester United are trying to make sure they get some players in if they can. For the simple fact that obviously they're looking at to improve their attack. At the start of the season, they've got some hard games, man. Manchester, obviously the Arsenal first game, then they've got Manchester City as well. So got some difficult games in the first half of the season for sure, man. So I'm not too sure how well they're going to get on. But again, a lot of pressure on obviously your man there on Ruben Amorim to go obviously further on as well. I said Tops isn't an nah, I am an Arsenal fan, man. I am an Arsenal fan. I'm not even laughing emoji. Davi, see you later, lads and lasses. Big up yourself, man. Big up yourself, Davi, man. Good to see you in the building, man. I said just messing, of course, my brother. Of course. Always jokes and banter in the chat, of course. Big up Jake said I'll hop off. I'm going to see you. Goodbye, Tops. Goodbye. Take care. Goodbye. Big up yourself, bro. Big up Buffalo. I said LOL in the chat, man. Big up yourself, Buffalo. RS Japanese team versus Liverpool. Okay, so it should be not comfortable, but a kind of a routine kind of victory, maybe I would assume. But yeah, interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting, man. But yeah, I feel like preseason is just all about really getting fitness, trying to incorporate some kind of new kind of styles in terms of going into the coming season and combinations, really. Manchester United have spoken to both Chelsea and Aston Villa about Garnacho as well as a possible possibility. Damn, this thing always keeps coming in, man. Let me just press the next article. I don't think I'll be even able to read it out, man. These pop-ups are killing me. These pop-ups are killing me, bro. They're killing me for sure. Let me see if I can try and read this one. Even this one's a bit mad. Pop-ups are crazy. Big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys like on the video and subscribe, man. Yeah, I might just did that one still. But yeah, I said, I'm back. Damn, yeah, that was quick. That was quick. But yeah, man, big up everyone in the building, man. Basically, obviously, Man United are trying to get a swap deal ready in place to try and sign maybe an Ollie Watkins instead and try and move on Garnacho, who obviously wants to leave the club. So yeah, it's crazy, really. It's crazy. I feel like, again, they're probably going to need to sell some more players, if I'm being honest, for the simple fact that, yeah, Ollie Watkins is going to be expensive, man. I think it's going to be expensive, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, that's definitely one to obviously keep an eye on for sure. Definitely want to keep an eye on for sure, man. But yeah, big up everyone in the building, man. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel as well, man. But yeah, Ekitike obviously potentially playing with Isak as well going forward next season. I think Liverpool will probably make a bid sometime of the end of this week, maybe next week. Trossard potentially leaving the club as well. And also, obviously, Man United going in for Ollie Watkins as well. Like the video now, 22, of course. Big up everyone in the building, man. That's obviously liked up the ting, subscribe to the ting, all of that good stuff. But yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's anyone online before I head out. What's going on? Let's see if I can redirect to anyone. But yeah, man, I think in terms of news, that's pretty much it, man. I'd say, Waffle Don's on, man. Let me raid to Waffle Don, bro. You guys go over there, say T-Chanzo raid, Tops raid, man, to Waffle Don, my brother, you know. He's on live now. But yeah, I'll be back later on at 2, man, to do another, obviously, video. I said, imagine buying Garnacho. Ooh, disgusting. LOL. Listen, man. I hopefully also I got nowhere near it, bro. Nowhere near it. But yeah, I'll be back at 2, man. Make sure you guys put the notification bell on so you never miss a video. But yes, it's been a 6th stream as always, man. Big up everyone that's been tuning in. Until next time, don't hate to play at the game. Until 2 o'clock, I'm out, people. Peace and love.